to our podcast. I'm Karmel and today I'm here with my partner.
Hi guys. Hi guys, we are excited to be back. In this episode, we are going to talk about something very close to our daily life, texting.
Exactly, we all text every day, right? WhatsApp, Instagram, Line, Telegram, you name it. But the big question is texting really communication or is it just sending messages?
Interesting topic because we actually have different opinions about this.
Yes, we do. I personally believe that texting is not real communication, while Sweet thinks otherwise. So let's talk about it and see both sides of the argument. Okay, I'll start. In my opinion, texting is not real communication. For me, communication is not just about sending information, but about understanding emotions, intentions, and responses. When we text, many important elements are missing. We can hear their tone of voices, we can see their facial expressions, and we can read their body language. Because of that, messages are often misunderstood. For example, a short message is like, okay, it can sound normal, cool, angry, or even sarcastic, depending on how the reader interprets it. This happens because texting doesn't give enough context. So that's why I believe texting works more like information delivery rather than true communication.
I understand the point, and I agree that texting has many limitations. However, I don't fully agree that texting is not communication at all. In my opinion, texting is communication, but in a different form. In today's digital era, people communicate through texting every day with friends, family, classmates, and even lectures. Texting helps people stay connected even when they are busy or far away. Without texting, many relationships would be harder to maintain. So I think text is still communication, just not the richest form of it.
Before we continue, first I want to say sorry and I want to apologize to Miss Nadine and friends who are watching this for the background and the settings. It's different from the other scene because turns out the videos we were taking yesterday is not 10 minutes long after we edited it. So we have to add some more duration to make it 10 minutes long. So it meets the requirements so we can fully finish this assignment. Thanks.
I would also like to add my personal experience. For me, texting has helped a lot in certain situations. For example, when I feel nervous speaking in front of others, texting allows me to think first before responding. It also helps when communicating with people who are far away. Even though we cannot meet face to face, texting helps maintain relationship. However, I agree that texting should be not used for everything. Important conversations still need deeper interaction, so I believe texting should support communication, not replace it completely.
That's true. Texting helps people stay connected. But the problem appears when the conversation becomes emotional or serious. For example, when people argue through text, conflicts become worse. This is because emotions are difficult to express clearly through words alone. Someone might text something without bad intentions, but the receiver might feel offended because they catch the signals in a wrong way or in the other way. Without immediate feedback, clarification also takes longer. This is why many problems in friendship or relationships start from misunderstanding in chat. In real communication, like face-to-face conversation, we can immediately see reaction and fix misunderstanding faster.
I agree that serious conversations are better done face to face, but we also need to consider reality. Not everyone feels comfortable speaking directly. Some people feel anxious or shy when talking in person. For them, texting becomes a safer and more comfortable way to express thoughts and feelings. Also, texting is very practical. We can communicate anytime and anywhere. It saves time and energy, especially in busy academic life. So even though it's not perfect, texting still plays an important role in modern communication.
Yes, texting is fast and convenient, but speed doesn't always mean quality, right? When communication is reduced to short messages, we often lose depth. Conversation becomes more shorter, more rushed, and sometimes less meaningful. In my opinion, real communication requires presence, like listening, responding, and understanding each other fully. And that is something texting cannot fully provide. That's why I believe texting should be used carefully and not as a replacement for direct communication. Yeah, so basically, what I want to add to this segment is like I want to add a short reflection as a college student, especially first year students. We rely heavily on texting, right? On a daily basis, we rely heavily on texting. Group chats, class announcements, and daily communication mostly happen online. However, I personally feel that this habit sometimes make us avoid real conversations. Like instead of discussing problem directly, we choose to send short messages because it feels easier, and feels easier. Over time, this can affect how communicate in real life. We may become less confident speaking directly, especially in serious situations. That is why I believe we should practice direct communication more, especially in academic and professional settings.
I think that's a fair point. But instead of saying texting is not communication, I prefer to say that texting is limit communication. As humans, we adapt to technology emojis, voice note, and video calls. As is because people try to add emotion back into the digital communication. So maybe the real issue is not texting itself, but how we use it. We know its limits, texting can still be effective.
So, to summarize my opinion, texting is useful for simple and quick messages. But when it comes to serious topics, I think emotions or important discussions, like something like that, direct communication is still the best option.
And from my side, texting is still communication, especially in modern life. However, it should not replace face-to-face interaction completely.
Okay, so in the end, it's not about choosing one and rejecting the other.
It's about knowing when to text and when to talk directly. Before we close this episode, let's talk about how this topic relates to communication studies. In communication theory, effective communication requires feedback, clarity, and emotional understanding. These elements are easier to achieve in face-to-face communication compared to texting.
Texting often lacks immediate feedback and emotional cues, which can cause misunderstanding. This shows that the medium we use really affects the quality of communication. Therefore, as communication student, it is important for us to understand the strengths and the weaknesses of each communication medium.
That's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening.
We hope this discussion makes you think more about how you communicate in your daily life.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to share it with your friends.
And we'll see you in the next episode. Stay connected and communicate wisely. Bye
Bye,
everyone!